Hi, my name is Sara Thompson. I completed Soul-Centered Living 1 in 2016. I'm currently working as a leadership consultant and coach, supporting individuals and organizations in culture change. And I also work as a faculty member teaching college students leadership development. And when I came to USM, I had just moved across the country, moved from Illinois to Southern California. I moved for a job and I was in a relatively new relationship. I was also working on my PhD. I was in the middle of my grad school program. And about 6 months after moving here, my relationship ended. I realized I was in a toxic work environment, and I was embarking upon the most difficult part of the doctorate program that I was in, which is writing and defending your dissertation. And I just, I felt really alone. I felt like I didn't have a support system. I felt like I was moving through my day in a way that was kind of numbing. I was crossing things off the list. The ego was really good at helping me get things done. It definitely was the first part of that slide at this time in my life. And I also remember how some of the ways I was thinking at that time. Like, I had thoughts like, how could a smart, capable, confident woman do this? How could I move across the country and get myself in a situation like this? And really what was underneath that was this belief that I had lived with all of my life. And at that time, it was that I somehow needed to prove my value and worth. And my ego was really holding on to this identity of I needed to be a good person, a good daughter, a good student, a good employee. And that way of thinking was really limiting how I showed up in the world. And so when I came to USM, I really wanted to experience more fulfillment in my life. I wanted to have the experience of more inner peace. I wanted more joy and more fun. And so when I said yes to Soul-Centered Living 1, I quickly realized what my opportunity was, like my path or the way that I would get there. And my opportunity was really working with one of the principles that I didn't know was going to be on the slide. But it was that the issue is not the issue. It's how I relate to the issue that's the issue. And the opportunity for me was really in the second part of that, which was how I relate to myself is the issue. Through the work that we do in Soul-Centered Living 1, I really started to see that it was the way I was holding these beliefs that were keeping me back from living that life that I so wanted. And I started practicing compassionate self-forgiveness, which Ellie talked about. And I really started to release a lot of these beliefs. And I started to come into a greater awareness of who I am. And the truth is that who I am is I'm the presence of love. I'm worthy and whole just as I am. And the more and more I sat with that, the more and more I got to know and experience that part of me. And it's like the slide that Ron and Mary just had up there where the ego goes up and the authentic self goes up and the ego kind of diminishes. Like, I really started to have a real life experience of that. And it's like when my inner world shifted, my outer world shifted. And so I found myself moving to a place in LA that was much more aligned with who I am. I found myself embarking upon a coaching and consulting, a total career shift. And my first client, you all, she found me. She came up to me at the end of a session and she said, I want you to be my coach. And in my head, I'm going, I was going to do this 3 years from now. I don't know if I'm ready. And I said yes. And I started to say yes from that part inside of me that was really clear about who she is, and that part inside of me that knew and knows that she is the presence of love. And, you know, now my purpose in life is to support people in standing up in the authenticity of who they are. And I feel so blessed to get to do that every day, whether it's a student, a client I'm working with, a group I'm working with. And I find that the beauty in this for me is that as I support other people in standing up in their authenticity, I also have to do that for myself. I also have to show up each day being more accepting and more loving and more authentic. And from that place, I just experienced so much more joy and so much more aliveness and clarity. And it's such a wonderful, fun enjoyable way to live. And I'm so thankful to USM and to Ron and Mary for their teachings and for allowing me to experience that in my day-to-day life. So thank you.